Piers Morgan once again lied through his teeth. Take a listen.
Move on to somebody else who may or may not have visa issues, currently has one, Mahmoud Khalil.
Okay, Mahmoud Khalil, like he is supposed to be professional in his presentation, in what he's discussing, right? But he cannot even pronounce his name right. Mahmoud Khalil? No, it is not Mahmoud Khalil. It is Mahmoud Khalil. Oh my God.
It's a complicated one here because you and I are big supporters of free speech. This guy is married to an American woman who's 8 months pregnant with their child. He's a permanent US resident with a green card. He was leading these protests on the campus, but he doesn't seem to have engaged directly in illegal acts himself. But I thought Marco Rubio had a good point when he said, had he put down his support for Hamas, for example, which this group have definitely done, been very vocal in support of him, had he put that on his application for the green card, it probably would have been rejected on that ground.
Well, he never supported Hamas to begin with. Why would he put that on his application form for US green card? He was accused of aligning, quote unquote, with Hamas. He was accused by the pro-Israel activist on campus of supporting Hamas, of creating an environment where anti-Semitism was widespread. All of these are accusations. None of them are being proven by facts or evidences. So Piers Morgan's question is so pathetic that, I mean, this guy is supposed to maintain professionalism even when he asking question, but we see him not doing that at all. Now, throughout, after he asked this question to Candace Wen, he went on to talk about his own website before he would get an answer from Candace Wen. So showing Piers Morgan knew that this is a hot topic, and before he would let Candace Wen talk, it was a high time for him to promote his website instead of letting us hear what Candace Wen has to say. So, take a listen.
April 15th is upon us. Act now before the IRS does it first.
Promoting his own website.
1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/peers.
So I would just ask you the question. I did hear Marco Rubio say that, but he said if any person puts down that they support Hamas, then we would get rid of them. No one yet has produced any evidence that he supported Hamas. And
the organization that he was fronting, the organization has. The organization has. The CUAD has.
The AP debunked that.
Yeah.
The AP, I don't know if you know this up into the minute, but the AP has debunked that. He was actually not a part of the organization CUAD. And in fact, the video is now making the rounds of him from April of last year when he comes out and speaks to the press and says, I'm not a member or affiliated with CUAD. I'm actually here just trying to facilitate negotiations between the university and the CUAD organization. So thus far, and this is at least up to the minute from the AP, and also from his own mouth before he could have possibly known he was going to be arrested 1 year later, he's not affiliated with this organization. So there's a lot of lies that we're kind of have to sort through of people that are warring. I'm very open, as I've said from the beginning. If it is proven that he was a part of any organization or if he personally handed out a pamphlet that was about violence, you would have me on board. I am consistent on the fact, and I don't know why they didn't just pick, there were plenty of students who got violent, who broke the law, who were arrested. Why did we make him the poster child for this? This was, to me, just an unforced error. There were so many students to choose from, and they chose this person who hasn't been arrested for anything, doesn't appear to be a part of CUAD, and also isn't here on a short-term visa. He has a green card. He is a United States resident, and that upsets me, obviously, because I am married to a Brit. He is here on a green card, and so it is important for me to know what was why was this decision determined? What are the actual facts? Because if you don't think we're going to get bit by this when the Democrats have power, we almost did. We did get bit by this with January 6th. if I had been there that day, would my husband have just been deported because, well, she's here and we don't like these viewpoints that are being espoused on January 6th, so we're just going to deport and ask no further questions? I need them to provide us with something concrete as to why they pursued him and not the many other students who were actually breaking the law that day.
Well, it's interesting about the CUAD because I didn't know that update on that. And that does change it because...
Okay. This guy is so stupid. He said he did not know about the CUAD update from AP that Mahmoud Khalil was never part of that organization. Now, CUAD basically stands for Columbia University Apartheid Divest. Apartheid Divest, I think that's what it is. And here, Piers Morgan accusing Mahmoud Khalil being part of it without knowing anything about it, without knowing the facts. So he would accuse, or he will say something first, and then he will go to people, and then he will be taught the fact. So he will not do a fact check, he will not study, he will not read his material. All he would be preparing himself for before any interview is how to lie and get away with it. But this time, even though Candace Wentz, she mentioned to him about the AP updates, Associated Press, they have updated it and saying that he was never part of CUAD. When she said that to Piers Morgan, he did not say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. I didn't know about that update." He kept quiet because he thought he could get away. And when Candace Wentz was mentioning about the AP update over and over again, I think 3 or 4 times, eventually Piers Morgan was like, "Oh, I didn't know that. By the way, forget about it. I mean, who cares? I don't know. It's not a big deal, right?" It's a big deal, Piers Morgan. We have to catch your lies as you do it. Otherwise, you are gaslighting people. You are misleading all of us, your viewers, especially those Zionist viewers, with all of this nonsense trash and false and fake information that you're presenting to us, to your viewers. And this is why we need to really watch this guy every time he does a show talking about the Palestine issue, because he spits nothing but lies, and we have to catch him as he does.
Seems to me all the reasons to deport him they've been putting out there are to do with him fronting this organization, which has been very vocal in espousing pro-Hamas sentiment, in talking about violence being the answer and so on. If he genuinely is not a paid-up member of this group and has, never been, that's a very different situation.
Right.
Yeah, Piers Morgan, you should have done your own homework, and instead of talking to Candace Wentz, you should have been called U.S. Homeland Security officials, because I'm sure you have some of the connections there, and tell them, "Hey guys, according to my journalist understanding, my journalistic research, I found out this guy was never part of a group that was pro-Hamas. He was never. In fact, what he was a spokesperson for the protesters at the Columbia University, and he worked as a mediator for the Columbia University officials in terms of reconciling with the demands of the students at in the campus. That's what he was doing. But Piers Morgan, no, he was a pro-Hamas guy, and this is fact because I'm saying so. This is what Piers Morgan is. Whatever he says, he believes it has to be fact, right? Oh my God, this guy is absolutely pathetic.
And not even Marco Rubio said that he was a member of the group. So all we had were a bunch of Zionist accounts that were saying he was a leader of this group. And I was just going, I don't need to listen to Twitter chatter. I actually just need the facts. And people that are saying, "Oh, we shouldn't be privy to them." Let's be very clear. The White House chose to make him the poster boy.
Yeah.
The White House chose to post shalom. So now we're all interested and we want the facts, and people are going, "Well, we don't have them or we're not ready to give them." That to me doesn't pass the sniff test. And again, the reason why I'm angry about this is only because, or I'm fired up about it rather, is only because I can just see us getting bit by this when Trump is out of office and the Democrats are in power.
I think inevitably that's what's going to happen.
Inevitably that's going to happen. Piers Morgan, if you check his YouTube channel, he is losing a lot of viewers. His videos, his interviews, his podcasts, they're getting views only in the hundreds and thousands. In the past, it was in millions. But now, because of his lies, people are calling him out. I mean, today when I was watching this video, I got the impression that perhaps he is realizing how pathetic he had become and that people are leaving him, people are abandoning him because of his non-stop lies. Subscribe to my channel, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful